peppered it in as we've gone through the parks of food. I guess just very quickly, because once again we've already peppered it in. Are there any last minute foods or experiences dining wise that you want to shout out now? And yes, Papa Griff Hatbox Ghost. I was wishing he was going to be in Florida as well with our Haunted Mansion experience, but not quite yet. He was not ready. I see where he's going.
Yeah.
But
and Figment, yeah.
Yeah.
Liberty Tree was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Snow White, well, that was just... The food was good.
Yep.
But Aunt Cindy didn't... What she had, it wasn't, like, fantastic.
Okay.
Mine was awesome. She should have got the prime rib, but she was like, I've been getting prime rib, I've been getting beef, I needed it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but the whole experience of meeting the characters.
That's not food.
Yeah.
Well, if you're having a tough time...
50 diners, the last one.
Well, for me personally, like I felt like I tried a bunch of stuff. We mentioned the Nom Nom cookie before. We mentioned the cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
I tried the spring rolls in Magic Kingdom, the cheeseburger spring rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Those were very good. Speaking of cheeseburger stuff, the cheeseburger bao buns in Animal Kingdom and Pandora.
Also good.
Those were phenomenal. And those veggie chips were fantastic,
They're really
too.
good.
That I would absolutely get again and again. Those were great. We tried a sweet and spicy chicken waffle from Friar's Nook. I thought that was okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
The spiciness did upset my stomach, but I think it was worth it because I really liked it.
That's not Friar's Nook. My bad. That is. Oh crap! I can picture I can picture exactly where it is, but it's not Friar's Nook.
Which place was it at?
Magic Kingdom. That would be. It's over in Liberty. But Friar's Nook, I wanted to try. I've seen Buffalo Tots somewhere in a video, but unfortunately, I guess they rotate it.
That was over Buffalo
Sleepy
Tots.
Hollow.
Oh, Buffalo Tots were supposed to be by Ventureland, wasn't it?
No, those were at least the ones I had seen were Friar's Nook. But. We mentioned the steakhouse, La Cellier was great. Brisket melt at Woody's Lunchbox was good. The Mickey beignets,
yeah,
were good.
yeah,
really
those
good.
are awesome.
Especially good with the dipping sauces.
The chocolate.
Yeah, the chocolate one was great. We talked about the mint and chocolate swirl at Swirls on the Water. Connections Cafe was great when we got there. Vampire Taco and the Cinnamon Bites, yeah. All good stuff. All good stuff. Anything that you can think of that we didn't talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, I really, really like salmon, so I was looking for salmon at all of these places, and the 2 times that I got it, it was really, really good. I liked the blackened salmon at Boatwright's. It was almost too much of like the pepper and spiciness. I was kind of not ready for that, but which I should have been because that was what it was called.
Bacon on a stick. So Dole Whip is a no-go? No. Dole Whip, I'm sorry, it was too much pineapple. It was, if it had the vanilla mixed into it, I think it would have been perfect. But
I feel like
blasphemy.
maybe I just misunderstood what a Dole Whip was because I thought part of it was
I think
creaminess.
our mistake was we probably should have tried the 3.
Oh, the flight?
Yes.
Yeah, we never did.
And that was at Disney Springs, wasn't it?
Yes, that was also at Swirls on the Water.
Yeah.
Which we didn't see.
So, yeah, that was our mistake.
The 2 drinks that I got at Epcot were really good. The
vanilla lemonade and the watermelon cucumber thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we know exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't a pineapple vanilla twist. It wasn't. It was just pineapple.
So we talked about food. What about cool merch that we got at the parks?
I should have brought my whole shopping bag full of stuff. I didn't bring it all over.
Well, like I said, I can put.
I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, got a lot of Orange Bird stuff.
I got a lot of Orange Bird stuff. I got a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Cindy got me a pin.
Mm-hmm.
And she also got me a Fox and the Hound matching pins, which were very adorable. I got a little shoulder guy. I got, from Mom and Dad, I got the hanging ornament swinging guy. Did I get anything else? Orange Bird? I got the sipper cup.
Did you get a shirt?
I did not get an Orange Bird shirt.
No. I think that was most of your Orange Bird.
Yeah. So we both got Everest shirts. Because I was so proud of myself for going on it again. And I liked it so much that I needed a shirt. So we both got matching Everest shirts.
I wasn't sure if he got it yet. When you said that, we're all like, oh, that's nice. That you like that. That's cool. I'm glad you liked it about your Spirit jersey. Yeah. That's convenient.
And what Papa Griff is talking about is the streamer that we saw the last day was wearing tie-dye, and it was a Haunted Mansion Spirit jersey. And I had already purchased that for Papa Griff. And just was like, do you think he'll wear this? Do you think he'll like it? Asking Brett. And he's like, yeah, I think he will, because, it's colorful, and it's got things on the front and the back. Because I wanted Papa Griff to enjoy the trip that we enjoyed and have something from it, from one of his favorite rides. And so I got him that, and then got him a t-shirt, a new t-shirt from Pirates. So, because last time, I think the last trip at Disneyland, I bought him a t-shirt and brought it home. And didn't realize it was the same t-shirt that he already had. But this time, 2 different items. So yes, he likes the tie-dye.
Well, you got the Everest shirt. What else?
I got the Everest shirt. I got a shirt that just says Walt Disney World. It's like a bright blue. Mm-hmm. I got this sweatshirt, because I wanted to get a sweatshirt, and also it was freezing cold the one day that we were in Epcot, so I needed another. I was wearing the sweatshirt that I brought, and I needed another one, so I got this one. I got a Spirit jersey, which I could have bought ever since we went to Disneyland. I didn't get one when we were at Disneyland, and I have been wanting one since then. And I would have bought more if they weren't so freaking expensive. They're wildly expensive. But so I picked my one that I have been looking at for the last year, that we'll put a picture in, but it has flowers embroidered on the sleeves, and it's very pretty, and I like it a lot. We got a Christmas ornament that says 2023. We got a magnet from the hotel. I got an Orange Bird mug.
Yep.
And I got an Alice in Wonderland mug. And I got a mug that's shaped like Winnie the Pooh's face, which is not really particularly that useful as a mug. I feel like it would be very, very difficult to actually drink out of it. So it's just going to be a decoration mug because it's very pretty. Aunt Cindy
pennies
got me the whole Winnie the Pooh crew, pressed pennies, so I got the whole crew, and I got, I think it's a pin trading starter lanyard. Yeah. I think that's kind of how they sell them. So, of course, I got the Winnie the Pooh one, and it came with the 4 Winnie the Pooh guys on it, and I got another Winnie the Pooh pin that he spins on it, because my most favorite part of that ride is when he eats a lot of honey and then falls asleep thinking that Heffalumps and Woozles are gonna steal his honey, and it shows him he's laying there asleep and he's spinning off into space, and I don't know, part of that ride just really makes me laugh, so I got a pin of that part of that ride. think that's it. I got a few things for my mom that I'm not gonna say in case she listens to this.
No, I'm just kidding. Right. All right. Nice.
I think that's it.
You got your weighted Winnie the Pooh?
I did get my weighted Winnie the Pooh, which TSA did not enjoy.
Nope.
On the way back.
You got little munchlings?
Oh yeah, we got the mystery. They really got me with the stupid
it's
mystery
fun,
boxes.
It's a fun thing, yeah.
Which, on one hand, I enjoy, and on the other hand, I don't enjoy because there's the one that you really, really want, and so
You didn't get them.
no, I didn't, and I didn't want to keep buying them to keep trying which is how they get you.
But because they're constantly putting out new stuff for Flower and Garden, we got the fun surprise of finding the Orange Bird Munchling the last they were in Epcot.
Yeah, they didn't have them out before that, so then we walked into the store and Brett was like, well, that's an instant purchase. So I did get my Orange Bird Munchling. And
Cha-ching.
Yep.
They have Orange Bird Tupperware now, too.
Oh, God.
Did you see any more Snow White stuff?
No! So I got a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to find the balance between, like, this is my first real trip to Disney World, and I really want to get stuff that I enjoy, and I want to commemorate this trip, and, like, I'm having such a good time. I want to have stuff to remember it by, and I also don't want to spend $1,000 on extra stuff. So, next time we go, I probably will get fewer things.
It's only $750.
But I think that's everything we got.
Right. Mom?
I don't think I overdid it to this trip, honestly. Got Dad the 2 shirts for himself. Myself, I have this shirt and another Snow White shirt from the Fort Wilderness Lodge. And it says Fort Wilderness onto it. I did notice, though, the sizes at Disney run smaller. Okay, so I should have bought myself, this is a 1X. I should be an extra, I'm usually an extra large. This is a 1X. This is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice that this shirt, it looks small, so that's why I bought the 1X. The Fort Wilderness shirt didn't look small. It still fits. It's an extra large. It fits me. But I think I would have been better to get the 1X. I will still wear it. I will just make sure that I wash it cold, like I do with everything, and all my clothes, and don't dry it to keep it longer and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I did buy myself a purple 100-year celebration pullover sweatshirt. The ears. And then I bought myself a crystal. I had my eye on 2 crystal things, but I only bought one. It says love, and it's the fairest of them all, with Snow White onto it. It's a crystal stand. It was reasonably priced, so I was like, okay, I'll get that. The other item was Snow White and Dopey. It was a crystal stand, very heavy, and it reflected the colors. It was beautiful. But I looked at it and said, no, that's too much. And I'm like, am I really worth it? And no, I don't want to spend that much on myself. So I talked myself out of the purchase up until the last day, where I said, if I see it in Magic Kingdom, I'm getting it. I didn't see it in Magic Kingdom, and I kicked myself. I should have got it. But beggars can't be choosers. I'm fine. And I probably can find it online.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I get for myself?
You got the set of coasters.
The set of coasters, that's right. That is part of the Flower and Garden show. With the hunts that we did, I got myself a Dopey egg and a Snow White plate. hunting around for postcards. The apple, thank you. The apple ornament. Dad was like, so he was asking us, okay, the kids are back at the resort. Are you back yet? Because it was our last day and we're, needed to pack. And I'm like, no, not yet. We're going to go into the Christmas store and look around there one more time. No, actually, it was our first time in. And he's like, get yourself the Snow White apple. And I'm like, yeah, if they have it. And he's like, they do. Drew was just there. And he shows me a picture. So I'm like, okay, perfect. So I did buy the Snow White apple ornament, which is beautiful. But the postcards, on previous trips, you'd walk into any gift shop and they'd have a bunch of these fancy pens, character pens and stuff to go along with your autograph books. And they'd have books of postcards. So I'm like, I want a book of postcards because I wanted to send postcards to my great nieces and nephews, and a couple of relatives. And you can find individual postcards $7.99 a piece. And I'm like, are they worth it? And I was just like, that's a lot to, buy that many. So I was like, no. So I asked, and I was told it's very rare that they have postcards, but when they do have the packs of postcards, they sell like that. And I'm like, okay. So I was just told to keep an eye out. So when Cindy and I were resort hopping, we found a pack of postcards at, I think it was the Contemporary. And I'm like, sold! And it had 10 postcards into it for $19.99. And I'm like, that's a deal. Especially at Disney. So got the postcards and sent them to some of the relatives, and I kept a few for myself. At the Disney, the Snow White dinner, they gave us a signed postcard, Snow White, don't be grumpy, in the Queen, so I have that to put in the carry-out and stuff. But I didn't overdo it on this trip. I don't think. I still had room into my luggage, which I was saddened about, but it's fine. The memories, the pictures, that's what's most important. My disappointment about Disney merchandise, though, is that the kids, they have these tons of t-shirts for kids. There's not a big selection of adult.
Yeah, most of the stores have all the same, 10 choices.
Right. But there's not a good selection of adult stuff.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see more Snow White stuff. I'm sure people who have, Winnie the Pooh. I mean, how many things did you see of Winnie the Pooh? Did you see anything of Max, a million? No.
Oh, no.
No. I mean, so I look for Snow White. Or Dopey, but yeah, I would love just a store that's all adult clothing, and a variety of characters for everyone, and real sizes, not, this is a size 0, no. Most Americans, or most humans, are 14 or above. So start making things that will fit a normal person. So that's it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I felt a little bit, I don't know, like I didn't get a lot.
Yeah, you didn't end up with a lot.
Yeah, which I'm kind of like, but nothing really called out to me, I guess. So I got a few shirts. We talked about the Everest shirt. I got a Pizza Planet shirt. I got a 100th anniversary shirt. I want to say.
You got a sweatshirt.
I got the sweatshirt for Walt Disney World. I got a nice water bottle. I bought some pins the last day we were there because I just thought it'd be fun. A little Marvel mystery pack. So I got
Stupid mystery pack.
4 out of 5 of the Guardians of the Galaxy and then Miles Morales. So that was a weird combo, but
Being with me.
it was good. I will say the big purchase, which I was going into this trip, was anticipating getting. So there was 2. So there was one with Guardians of the Galaxy, Loki's Scepter, that I thought that one was going to be the one I got. But then upon seeing it, it just felt a little lower in quality compared to what I did get. So the big purchase I did get, so in Galaxy's Edge in the Hollywood Studios Star Wars land, there is an opportunity to build lightsabers, but you got to like book that similar to your dining reservations like 6 months in advance, and you're able to build your lightsaber. Apparently it's a whole experience. So I was thinking about that way back when we were originally planning it, but just didn't do that. But you can also buy replica lightsabers, for characters that they do have across the movie franchises. Before our trip, maybe a year or 2 ago, probably a year, I saw Disney put out a poll for who would you like to see added to the catalog of lightsabers to buy. And the winner of that was Cal Kestis from the video game Jedi Fallen Order, which I had played, I had streamed, I had loved that game. And hearing that it was coming to the parks, I was ecstatic. So that was the big purchase I wanted to do here, was to get a replica of his, and luckily I was able to do that. The process of getting it was quite interesting. I mentioned before with Hollywood Studios of standing in the line to get into merch. That was the line I was standing in. So there's a building, once again, nondescript, so I kind of had to just be aware of, like, this looks like where I want to go. You stand in a line outside, and you can go. It's a normal shop inside, so if you're going and getting something else, you can just go. But to look at the lightsabers, because it's almost kind of like a bar where you go up, you hold it, you look at different ones, you can request different sabers, stuff like that. It's a one-on-one experience with someone. So you had to stand in the line outside, then stand in the line inside after enough people had filtered out of that line, and then you get this one-on-one experience. And it's funny because the line was fine. It took a little while, obviously, because people are taking their time looking through things. I went up, when it was finally my turn, I went up to the guy. I told him exactly what I wanted. I was like, can I see Cal Kestis? And he saw it in my face, like, oh, you're like, this is the one. I'm like, and he's like, do you want to see anything else? I'm like, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. This was the one I was coming for. He's like, I totally get that. It's totally fair. Treat yourself. You just stood in that line. Look at some other stuff. So I was like, fine. So I looked at Qui-Gon Jinn's. I looked at Ahsoka Tano's. All very cool models. So unfortunately, if you have played Jedi Fallen Order, as you progress through the game, you can customize your lightsaber. So it starts with a single blade. You can go dual bladed like a Darth Maul saber, or you can go into 2 separate sabers, and you can customize how the blades, or how the hilt looks, what color the blade is, stuff like that. So that was my first question when I got the blade. I didn't expect to change the hilt at all, because obviously that's more of the building the lightsaber aspect. But I know a big thing with the stores is the Kyber crystals, which is the thing that changes the color of the blade. They sell those. So I was like, okay, the one they showed and displayed, the blade is blue. And I'm like, so is there a way that I can buy a crystal and change it? And the guy knew exactly where I was going to. He's like, unfortunately, this is based on the master's blade that he handed down. It is not like the game where it allows us to choose. And I was like, damn, because I really wanted to go yellow, because that's just what I had played through the game with.
And your favorite color.
Right. So that was the only downside, that I could not customize the blade here. If I was able to build the saber, then that would have been a totally different experience. But that was my big purchase, was getting Cal Kestis's hilt and the lightsaber blade. That was the crazy one, I guess you could say, purchase wise. But yeah, it was definitely a lighter trip overall in terms of merch for myself. So all good merch that we got. Just quickly, what would we say our trip experience was using the I'm trying to think of the term for it, the I don't know, like things like the app or virtual queues, lightning lanes, mobile order. How did we feel that these extras were in terms of the experience? Were they easy to use? Were they hard to use? Confusing to use? Did you have any thoughts?
So, yes, the app is good.
Mm-hmm.
The wait time list is the tip board, whatever, it's good to see and everything, and I like how they tell you like when the characters are going to be out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you times and stuff. Thing is, this is great, but it also distracts from you.
Sure.
Where you're supposed to be there experiencing it. So if you're always looking at your phone, that kind of just sucks.
Sure.
A little bit. It sucks, and like, okay, I'm over in Tomorrowland, and something in Fantasyland just opened up. Well, just because my wait here in Tomorrowland for something is 40 minutes, and this is only 10 minutes. By the time I get over there, that's going to change.
Sure.
So, I don't know how... It's helpful, but I don't know how helpful, because I kind of feel if you stay in the area that you are, and like if you make that plan and you're like, okay, let's hit these rides and then go to this area. To me, that seems logical. Better set of plans. With ordering, the food?
Yep, mobile order.
Mobile order. You guys didn't seem to have a problem with it.
No.
It was very easy.
I didn't mind standing in lines, but I can see the benefits of it. This is... All the technology is great if you know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not scared of it. For me personally, half the time I'm scared to use it. So it was good to have, you guys are techie. But that was also pressure on you. Like, hey, would you, yeah, sure. Can you do that? Yeah, all right. But I think I got better with the app the more we went all, especially the parks. The longer we were there, the more using it I was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got more comfortable.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, but your age group and younger seem to have it down. So
Sure.
I don't know, but
Yeah. I mean, the things that we used it for, I felt like were easy. I didn't go into using it for Genie Plus. We did one lightning lane. Or for things that I got on, I used one lightning lane. The times that I used it for mobile ordering were very easy. And the times that we used it for mobile checkout when we were in stores was also very easy and very convenient.
Yeah, I didn't get that, the mobile checkout.
Oh, it's very simple.
It was you literally scan the things that you have. It shows you a little list on your phone, and when you're done, you hit that you're done, and it gives you a code on your phone, and you go up to the person, and they scan your code, and then you're checked out.
Do they hand you a bag?
Yeah, they have bags there.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
So that was very nice when there's a long line of people waiting in line to check out at the registers, to just be able to do the mobile checkout. I really liked that. I liked being able to see wait times Although, like you said, if you see something across a park that has a low wait, by the time you get over there, that will change, usually. There were a couple times where I feel like we caught a lower wait time on something we wanted to go on and got on it with a lower wait. So, I don't know, it was kind of 50-50 on, like, by the time you get to it, is it still helpful? Is it not helpful? But it was nice to see a list of all of the attractions, and then you can also see like all of the restaurants, and if there's characters that are doing meet and greets, you can see a list of that. You can see a map and like search where the nearest bathroom is. So all of that functionality I feel like is helpful. But in general, I feel like even though we didn't really use it, the whole Genie Plus / individual lightning lane, I feel like they just need to change it. I feel it's very confusing to many people. I don't think it was that difficult to use once you know what you're doing. But it's just named confusingly, and you kind of have to like learn about it before you go. Like you have to take your whole Disney learning course before you go, because it's a lot, and it, like I said, it's named confusingly, and it's confusing. Well, not confusing, but it's like some things are lightning lane, individual lightning lane only. Some things are Genie Plus only, and so you have to learn what is what, and it just feels like it is maybe, I mean, I'm not an app developer. I don't particularly know how they could make it better, but it kind of feels like it's unnecessarily confusing. And it's also very expensive. If you're going to do Genie Plus, like if you're going by yourself and you want to hit a ton of rides, it's probably worth your $25 to $29. But if you're going, like we were in a group of 4, if you all are going to try and do that, it's very expensive to do that every day. And so we just didn't use it at all, and we just got there really early and waited in lines and got on the stuff that was busy first thing in the morning, so we were able to do that. But it can be extremely expensive if you're doing that every day in a group.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you with the app. I think it's all very maybe not accessible, but it was all very easy to do once you got the hang of it. I do agree with the thought of being your head into your phone the entire day. That is completely the opposite experience you should be having in your vacation, or at least like for how much you are investing in this trip to just be having your head down into your phone and not taking in things. That is a big negative, but I don't think that's necessarily this app's fault or this experience's fault. I think, unfortunately, that is, like you said, our generations, younger generations, where this is something we just have out all the time. And, like, social media or emails or texts or whatever, like, there's constant stimulation, I guess you could say, from this device, and this is just Disney's avenue and your way around the parks of doing that. So that's something that I feel definitely, I agree, can take away from your vacation, or at least what I would think the point of your vacation is. So from our experience, I didn't feel like I was staring at my phone all that much. It would be a quick check-in, see what the wait times are, just to loosely plan what is next, and then get out, and then back into whatever. If it was a mobile order, very quick, very simple. If it was a merchandise checkout, very quick, very simple, after we were shown the first time how to do it by a cast member. The lightning lanes, very simple. I agree, Genie Plus is absurd for a family to get that to be a family of 4, $80 a day just to book these fast passes essentially into the lanes. Or into the rides. To me, that's a bit ridiculous, but.
And is that the one where you could only book like you're into this ride at 10:10, and then you can't book another ride until you've
Correct.
checked
So
in.
with Genie Plus, from my understanding, because once again, we did not use it, but for our basic grass, you can make your first Genie Plus or Fast Pass reservation at 7 a.m. if you're staying on property, 8 if you are not. You make that a selection. So let's say you want to go on Space Mountain. I can get a Space Mountain for 10:10, whatever. I have an hour window when I make that Fast Pass to arrive. So either between 10:10 to 11:10, I need to show up in there. That Fast Pass will go on to my park ticket or my Magic Band, along with my parties, whoever else got it. You will scan in at the ride to say, I'm here. As soon as you scan in at the ride, you can now make your next Fast Pass. So it's a good control system that you can technically only get one, so people aren't like picking up 20 of these things. That's fine. But it turns into that thing where you are not panicking, but you're always looking at your phone for what's next. That, to me, is why people are so stressed out, and it's not essentially a good system in terms of that. In terms of ease and information, I think it's good, because with the wait times, I don't think with the general map, I don't think their intention is like, this is 10 minutes. Go there now, run across the park. I think it's just a tool to be able to show you what the wait times are everywhere. Because back when we didn't have the phones, it was sort of like, okay, let's go to Pirates. I have no idea what's going on there, but let's go there. And you just would eat the time, whatever it is, kind of thing. This is just a way for you to know what's happening across the park. And, like, if something's closed, it tells you right there. So you're not wasting your time
that's
walking all the way
somewhere
over.
just to be like, oh, crap, it's closed. So I think that's great. The tip board, waste of time.
Yeah, we didn't use that at all.
Yeah, it was a waste of time. That is what Disney uses to try and filter you to different areas to crowd control. We recommend you go on Astro Orbiter. And it doesn't matter where you are. They just think, oh, let's push people that way. The tip board is only good, or the My Day or whatever it is, to show you all of your plans. If you did go Genie Plus, to show you your Genie Plus reservations. If you got an individual Lightning Lane, to show you what your time is. Virtual queue, dining reservations, whatever that is. It's just that planner or itinerary, I guess would be a better term for it, that shows everything clearly there. The tip board, in my opinion, dumb. You mentioned the terminology. I agree that is confusing because everything is labeled Lightning Lane, and there are only 4 experiences that are individual Lightning Lane. And that is a totally separate thing from Genie Plus. So the Genie Plus stuff encompasses all the rides, including the individual Lightning Lanes. Encompasses all the rides. You can make those reservations. The individual Lightning Lanes are just Fast Passes you can buy in an individual basis. You don't need the Genie Plus, like a buy on demand, I guess you could say. You can only do it once, so I can't buy 3 and ride 3 times. But I don't need to get Genie Plus to do those. And those are usually the newest attraction in each park. So for example, as of recording, Animal Kingdoms is Flight of Passage. Magic Kingdoms is Snow White's Mine Train, or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, excuse me. It may be Tron once that opens. I don't know. Epcot is Guardians of the Galaxy. Hollywood Studios is Rise of the Resistance. So you could buy individual Lightning Lanes for any of those 4 without having to get this big giant hulking package of Genie Plus. So there's that. In terms of booking the tickets, very simple. I want this ride for check this members of my party. Go. Here's the times they have available. Pick time. Buy it. Very simple.
You do have to be ready to be on
at 7
a.m.
Yeah, you need to be ready.
Fill up.
Yes. I never had an issue, honestly, with time for anything in my experience. There was once where I picked a time block and then got pushed to an hour later. But everything else, I had the freedom of picking my time. And like if I was on at 7, I think the earliest I could get was like a 9:30. I typically picked later just to have that flexibility of like we can do stuff before, and then just in case there would be no rush. But from that standpoint, very simple. Papa Griffin chat says, I think mobiles should be still attributed to the room, so all's together. Can you elaborate on that question? I'd be happy to talk about it. But from my experience, I thought it was all good. I agree how it can be confusing, for people, as we saw.
Yeah, I heard, there were the people at the bus stop that you explained it to, and I heard just in passing some people getting very frustrated that they thought they were buying one thing and they weren't buying that thing, or they bought Genie Plus but they just wanted this one ride, the individual lightning lane, or like they spent $200 to buy Genie Plus for everybody in their family, and then they just all wanted to go on this one ride, and they ended up spending that much money just to go on this one ride. So once again, I don't have any suggestions on how they could make it better, but I just feel like there has to be a way
I think
that it can be improved and be less confusing, and they don't have
fast passes compared to the...
How do the fast passes compare to the new system? Well, if you're listening or watching right now, my recommendation, if you have some time to kill on your hands, go to YouTube and search Defunctland. There is a great documentary, and this is going to sound weird because I just used the word great. There's a great documentary on lines and queues.
Oh, you did tell me.
This is it sounds weird that I just described it as great, but go watch that. If you got like a half hour, 45 minutes, go watch that.
It was very interesting.
Very interesting, very informative. I think it's Kevin from Defunctland does a very good job with his projects. Go check that out on line queues, because he compares normal lines to FastPass, to FastPass Plus, to now Genie Plus.
And it turns out Genie Plus is the worst for literally everybody, whether you buy it or not.
Unfortunately, yes. But go check that out. It's very, very good. So that would be my thing. Like FastPass, while could be stressful because you have to physically go grab it, was it equitable? Is that the correct term? More fair to everyone. So in terms of how to make Genie Plus better, at least for what they have right now, like you said, it's a matter of explanation. Because I feel like, and maybe this is just me because I have experience with it, granted limited experience, but I feel like I can explain it pretty well. But that's the thing. You need this middle person to explain it.
Yeah.
And because this is your vacation, you shouldn't have to take a course, like you said, of this is Disney 101.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Because 95%, if not more, of people going to Disney don't or won't do that. They're just going to go, which is how it should be. It shouldn't be, here's your training manual to go on your vacation.
And that's, I feel like, for ours, because you guys knew what you were doing, it was very smooth.
Right.
And, like, we got to do everything we wanted to do. If you just show up to Disney World and you don't know all this stuff, I feel like it would be a very stressful... Yeah, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. It's going to be really frustrating and stressful to try and, like, learn all this stuff when you get there, which is unfortunate.
Right. Which I also want to preface, like, that doesn't mean it has to ruin your trip. Just, I've said it before and I'll say it now, have a plan, but be flexible. If you have such a rigid plan or high hopes or whatever in your head that you're going to do this, then you're going to do this, then you do this, or whatever it is, and you get to point A and it's too much of a wait for you, or
the ride's
down or whatever, and that ruins mentally everything, whatever. Everything you have planned and you break down because of that, it's just going to be a stressful time. But we never used Genie Plus because cost, and we didn't need to. Yeah. As long as you have the patience, that's a big thing. I know it's hard, but be patient. It's a line.
Yep.
Just
we
wait.
prepared ourselves for.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Even if you're waiting in lines, even if you feel like you're going slow, you can still hit 8 to 9 things per day.
Yeah.
And that's gonna.
And the people watching in lines
Right.
is like
This is really
totally
good.
fun.
And
we kept watching the people play
the heads up.
the
Yeah, and
heads
that's a
up
thing
game.
too. Yeah,
Oh my
pastime
god.
with that.
Yeah. Some of these teenagers were.
Very good.
Really good.
Oh my god. Yeah. So that, yeah.
Yeah, you can do things like that, but also like you hit those 8 to 9 things and you don't feel rushed either. We had plenty of time to sit down. We had plenty of time to eat. We had plenty of time to shop. Like, be okay with waiting. And I know that's hard to say, especially with, like we talked about, everybody in their phones and things are instantaneous. But disconnect from that for a while and be in that moment. And I know it's easy for me to say without like having kids or having people to be responsible for or whatever. Like,
You were responsible for the.
well, yeah, but you guys can handle yourselves because you're adults.
You had us 3 leash kids. With
Like, it's easy for young white male to just say, "Oh, it's easy, do this," but like, if you can allow yourself to be patient, to have a plan and be flexible, and to enjoy yourself, then you will achieve it. But if it's too much of a checklist or itinerary structure, then it's not going to work out. It's going to be stressful, and it's going to ruin your time, and then you're going to be bitter about Disney.
I will
and all that
say,
stuff. Not saying things can't be better, but
Yeah.
We also had the luxury and the privilege to be there for a long time.
we did.
We had multiple days in each park. Like, we had enough
Right.
time to be patient and wait for a ride or not go on that ride today because we knew we had another day or two in that park. So that helped that process a lot. I feel like if you're going for like a long weekend trip, maybe it would be different. Maybe it would be worth it to budget in Genie Plus for those days because you don't have time to.
Sure, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from Genie Plus. I think it's a good system if you know what you're doing.
If you have enough money to pay for it too.
Right, also that. But if you have a limited trip or a limited thing, you should still enjoy your time that you have. And I feel if you're just hyper stressing out because you have to hit everything,
that's not fun.
That's not, that's regardless of the length amount of time, that's just not good.
So you elaborated.
So circling back on the mobile thing for Popograph, meaning when you check out of a room, you get a tally of all purchases, dinners, etc. that use Magic Bands, but all mobiles are individual charges to the credit card and not to the room.
It's just the way it lists it out.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair
at the end.
Yeah, I did print out onto our
hotel
checkout
receipt.
So we didn't have any of the mobile orders. We didn't have any of the any of that
the
stuff
individual
that you did.
items.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. Why it wouldn't, if it's linked to the same card.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only time,
I guess because you don't, like at the hotel, whatever cards you link to your room, you put in the PIN. You don't put that PIN in. It's whatever cards you linked to your app.
Right.
And
so
even
that
though
could be any.
Even though it's,
the same
in
card.
For us,
our
case,
opinion,
it's
it
the
was
same
the same
card.
card,
Yeah.
right?
But yeah, that's fair. Just an ease of.
Yeah, in our case, that would have been an ease of use to see it. But in other cases, I can see why it would be easier to have it separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. And then I guess my last question for you guys is, what are your hopes for the next trip?
That it's sooner than later. That Papa Griff is able to come with us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, really, honestly, I could go back tomorrow. But yeah, that it's sooner than later. I love Disney and I have no trouble with saying, yep, I'll go again. I was disappointed a little with the rooms a little bit. No clocks whatsoever into any of the rooms. They took all the clocks out. So the only way, and I know, we have our phones and you can see the time on your phone. But when you're laying in bed and you're up, like anticipating the next day, I want to know what time it is. And I don't want to pick up my phone. I want to look at a clock and say, oh, okay, it's 3:30. I'm getting up in 2 hours. Which every day, Anthony and I did get up at 5. But that was disappointing. I loved how they did the display onto our TV. But I was tired of that same old music. Like, I just want regular TV because I can't listen to that music anymore. But yeah, I would do it again. As soon as possible.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I am just extremely glad that it was so much fun. I had such a good time. It was for me, it was very redeeming of just the experience and, like, my past experience with Disney in general and, like, going to this park and having a really bad experience. And now this time it was so great and I, like, loved every day. I loved everything that we did. I'm ready to go back. I feel like my inner child was awake and having a great time the whole trip, and it was just like way better than I even thought it was going to be, and it was wonderful and I loved it, and so I'm ready to go back.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. It was a blast. Definitely, like you guys said, looking forward to the next one. It was a weird kind of in between. I felt towards the end of the trip of like, I want to stay longer, and then also I was ready to go home. So while I want to go back, I think I'd be fine with a 5-year break. Not in a bad way or like, oh, I'd be mad if we went sooner. But that was just something I picked up on this time. And I don't know if it was just tiredness overall, because we're all very tired and kind of feeling the effects still.
Yeah. Yes, we were.
I don't know if it was that or whatever it was, but that was just something I noticed. You guys at the very beginning of the podcast mentioned different hotels. I felt great at Riverside, and I think that would be where I would want to go again. But it was just that feeling of home.
Yeah.
It was insane, the routine that we had, or at least I had. Like, I am actively getting up by choice and ready to go at 5:30 every morning. And I would get, do my normal routine of getting ready. I would walk down to the lobby every morning. I would fill my cup. I would walk back. Like, it was peaceful. It was relaxing. I just felt so relaxed. And, like, we talked about it before the trip. Like, my only goal for the trip was I want to go on vacation and I just want to disconnect. I don't want to think about anything else. I don't want to stress or anything. My brain never, like, randomly went off in a tangent of downhill sometimes at work. Just wash away. And I felt that exactly at the hotel. And, knowing where everything was and the comfortability definitely helped with that. So like that I feel was a part of my experience of like, this is home and comfortableness. So to me, I don't have much interest or like want for a different hotel. Like we've talked about the Wizard's Lodge and stuff like that, how that'd be a cool thing, but ultimately I think that is where I'd want to be. And then the only thing, I guess, not change, but I'd like to do more of, and I think it's just because I feel we've been there a lot, obviously, and then obviously we take in all these different media forms, whether it's Tim Tracker or other, podcasts or YouTubers or whatever, is just like I don't feel I feel like I've not had my full of those experiences, or fill of those experiences, but like it's not that mystery to me still of never doing it before, like a first timer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
it's
true.
my thing that I want for myself to do more of, and we did it on this trip once again, is just coast or just like nonchalant, like just walk around or sit down or just be there. Like I want to do, that's my thing now, is like I just want to soak in everything, soak in the buildings, soak in the decor, soak in the people, soak in the cast, everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, I felt like I definitely did more of that this trip. And like whether it was us together or it was that morning that I was on my own, like it's just freeing sounds weird, but it felt nice to do that. So I think that would be something I want to do more. And I don't know how to do that, if it's like, oh, plan a longer trip so your legs don't hurt as much and like you can coast as much, or maybe just take it even slower of like one day's a park day, next day is not, or is a park day but you don't do anything, or you know, you've no plan and it's just go. And if you ride something, you ride something. If you don't, you don't. So I think that'd be something that I just want to do the next time, which I know is kind of weird because the point of going is to do stuff.
Right.
So it sounds a little counterintuitive, but I think that would be something that I would try and do next time, at least for myself, or maybe make more time for me to do that kind of thing. But yeah.
We also tried the, and Cindy and I just wanted to say, the Lyft app that you put onto your phones, and we used the minivans, and they were great. They picked us up right in front of our hotel lobby area and brought us right to where we needed to go, and then they picked us up from after we were done with dinner and brought us right back to our hotel. The cast members, the gentleman that picked us up was very nice, very knowledgeable, and the one that dropped us home back to the resort, very good, very, very nice. They both had suggested different things for us to do. The last one had suggested if we ever wanted to visit like Christmas time, to go, he said the slower time is really right after Thanksgiving, and like the week or two right after is slower. If we could ever afford it and do it, that'd be, awesome.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
To go.
It's just, I mean, it takes a long time to save up for Disney, definitely. It's definitely worth it, but it can be very expensive. We didn't have to do the dinners that we did. We enjoyed all of them. We could have ate quick service every night and been fine.
Right.
And the quick service meals, you can split. They're big enough where you can split, so that's another way to save money. And we did the refillable mugs at the resort, so we could get our sodas, any hot beverages or whatever, free all through our trip, just at that resort. And they had the water stations where you could fill up your water bottles, so that was also a good thing. But other than that,
Yeah, some closing thoughts from Aunt Cindy here, real quick, before we wrap up. Some favorite rides that she had were Slinky Dog,
Nice.
the Aliens, Haunted Mansion, and Pirates. She loved those rides a lot. Meeting Jack Sparrow was a big one for her, along with meeting Chip and Dale and getting a kiss from them. Some tips she has for some people who maybe haven't gone for the first time or are planning going for the first time. Maybe carry some snacks and water. Not everybody's hungry at the same time. Remember your sunscreen. Reapply. Planning works to a point, but be flexible too. I understand that those who have been who have been there before are trying to make it best experience for those who haven't, but make sure you're having fun overall. And then direct flight was awesome. Highly recommends a visit. Being claustrophobic, don't like crowds, have some panic attacks, but this was a very pleasant trip. We took breaks, stood or sat where it was less crowded when possible, and just moved along and kept track of each other. So, thank you for sharing those notes. I'm glad everybody had a good time, and it was just a blast revisiting the trip today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Brett, aka Enigma9011, and today I was joined by Mrs. G and Lady in Wonderland. Thank you guys so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank
with
you
me.
for having us.
Of course. Of course. If you guys want to catch this podcast live, you can go over to twitch.tv/Enigma9011 and join in on the conversation today, like Aunt Cindy did today, along with Papa Griff and others. We'd love to have you in on the conversation, all the fun, but if you can't catch live, that is A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, any way you can support the show, likes, comments, reviews, sharing the podcast with somebody you think who would enjoy it. It may seem small, but it does go a long way in supporting the show and supporting us. So please, if you could do that, we would appreciate you greatly. Everybody watching, listening, all the fun stuff. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Bye.